Hello and welcome back to Warhammer 3. We've been doing pretty good in our start so far as the vampire counts, at least I think so. Hard hasn't put up much of a challenge to the just ridiculous stomp these hero units have been doing against all the stuff we've been seeing, as well as the armies of chaff that accompany said hero units. We have two pretty important battles, as we're about to wipe out two legendary lords. Balthazar Gelt down here, and is this Ungrim? I can't remember the names of the factions, there's so many. Yeah, Ungrim Iron Fist of Carrot Kadren. They're both dying this turn. I can probably auto-resolve both of them. It's more important because of the political ramifications and killing important people than difficult battles. What I'm worried about is what comes next. So I spent a while between videos thinking about diplomacy and also actually checking what my victory conditions were because I don't know. For short victory, we get replenishment rate, which is like, for other factions, this would be nuts. 15% is quite a lot. But for this faction specifically, that's absolutely worthless. And to do that, we need to kill Altdorf. Or not kill Altdorf, take Altdorf. So not quite being friends with the Empire seems generally good. Our long campaign victory is to own the whole Empire. You can have them as vassals and military isles, that's fine too. Except for Reichland, they need to be dead. They're not the real Emperor, that's you. I think that's very funny, and the reward for this one's much better at a massive amount of Winds of Magic Reserve. That's very helpful. Now, looking at the situation politically, I do think I can salvage it with Averheim. They're still positive to me in spite of all of this shit. And I'm going to watch what happens next turn with great interest because they are mad at me for my military actions against Stirland. Which strikes me as hypocritical because if you'll notice, this army of theirs is about to kill Stirland. And I think that once they declare the war on Stirland, that might go away and we immediately become best buds due to now having had mutual military struggles against them instead of being at odds about it. Now, I have a bunch of armies that are about to be freed up. I've got one here, and one here, and they're all finishing the wars they're currently in, so where do they go next? And I was worried a lot about the dwarves down here, because obviously they don't like me very much at all. Minus 70 is a huge amount. I've had people go to war with me with way less than that before. However, if you click on somebody, you can see what other people think of them. So these dwarves think the orcs next to them are minus 193. They think these ogres next to them are minus 139. They think Wurzag the Green Prophet, who's on his way up, is minus 183. And speaking of, Wurzag the Green Prophet in my test campaigns has run up and attacked me before. He alleges he's on his way to the Forest of Gloom, which is definitely dying this turn. This is their last settlement. There are two full stacks at war with him right now, and another tiny orc with the dwarves who's also here to help. So we should probably join a war to help them, and having checked who the highest bidder is, the other two won't even pay me to join the war. They just don't think they need the help, but I can get some political bonus points for joining the war against them at $189 to boot, so we'll join that war right off the bat because there's no reason not to. Now, I don't know if any of these orcs will come after me. They all seem to have better allies, or enemies rather, in the region with the dwarves, and there's probably someone on the other side I haven't met that they dislike more as well. But the dwarves specifically don't seem like a threat to me, even though they have become my border up here. So I'm hoping I can just ignore the Southlands in general. My plan is, because the Borrow Legion hates Durthu, I could be friends with him. I could like take Crystal Valley, sell it to him, just be a good guy. I could take this as well. He'll be out of money, so I'd have to give him a gift and then sell it to him to get the gift money back. But he'd love me at the end of that. But the Borrow Legion would hate me for being friends with Durthu. And Durthu's not going to like me because I'm going to kill Draika, and Draika's not going to kill me because I like Durthu. It's all just sort of linked together. I'm assuming not all factions work this way, but I'm assuming that the forest itself is on the same side as the rest of the forest. So my plan is to have this army take out one half the dwarf here, this army take out the other half the dwarf here, just because it's in my land, nowhere else to expand, doesn't like me at all. Their opinion of me is negative 49 and degrading down to something even worse than that, negative 55. I expect them to down me. Eventually it'll be easy for them to do so. So killing them seems easy. It moves everyone generally closer together. One army can push up through Durthu, the other one can go up to fight, what's your name? Talabecland, because Talabecland only has 3 settlements left here. 4, I'm missing one, I'm not quite sure where it is. But I can see 3 of them, they're not garrisoned for shit. The army here has moved. They're at war with 3 people. One is the Fecondites here, one is the ogres here. I can get paid to dowl them, and if you come over to the map, the garrison for this place has left, and seeing as this place isn't built, it has no natural garrison, meaning I can just take it with a legendary lord and no army. It's a great start to the war. So I'm going to recruit a legendary lord here now before I can forget about it. I'll pick up the Lamia I had earlier. Yes. We're going to pop into the city and out to get a little bit closer, pick up 2 skeletons, and we'll go knock this out next turn. Because relatively soon we'll have a very large stack moving up to go assist with that. Because we want to kill them, we want to kill Durthu, and then be positioned to fight Reichland here and get close to and friendly with the Borrow Legion. On the other side of this, we obviously want to kill Azag the Slaughterer. He's just not a good neighbor to have, and it looks like his land is largely surrounded by mountains, meaning I won't really be getting any new borders because I'm already a border here on Silver Pinnacle, and this comes out to Kislev, who loves me, and Draco, who I'm already planning to fight. So that's pretty straightforward. It is worth noting, though, I thought this was like a city built on a lake and there was like a river coming down from somewhere to it, because I saw Wurzak walk his way down. I think he must have used underway movement or something. Because if you were to grab one of these people and try to walk up this way, there's a river here. You can't really see it for shit. It's kind of there. The Vampiric Corruption's doing a lot to hide it. So after we take this out, we're gonna go back this way and meet Azag the Slaughterer up in his lands here, because I'd have to spend like 2 turns going around the river and trespassing. It's probably about the same time to go this way and better defensively, because if he is gonna underway jump into me, it'll be somewhere in here. He could take the same route again, I guess. I don't know what's better. It feels better to go right, and let's get started on that.
I will alone.
Is there any reason to break channeling stance if you're going to reinforce somebody? No, absolutely none. Cool. We're gonna come forward to here. We're not actually gonna start the fight. We're going to retreat because this guy doesn't have siege equipment. We're going to start the fight for real with the other army. And this is saying Pyrrhic victory. I do lose 2 skeletons, but who actually cares? Every time I've seen Pyrrhic victory, it was a lie. That actually feels pretty Pyrrhic. Thankfully, our replenishment rate with the 4 vampires is nuts, so it should be fine. And here, because I realized that I think on all of my settlements, I don't really feel like they're safe right now, except for Tempelhof and Drakenhof. Because this is a pretty large amount of money, I'm going to sack and occupy here. This has the added benefit of moving my army a little bit faster, because if I sack, now I can take over the undefended city with the other vampire. That wipes out Carrick Kadren, which is obviously good. But this vampire can continue moving and channeling stance back this way, or I could force march to get to my land even faster, and I think I probably should. All of these people have leveled up, and because that was actually a Pyrrhic victory, because that's actually a Pyrrhic victory, I will be taking replenishment for the first time on all of them, for a total of 12% replenishment across all 4 of the vampires. For the ruler of the army, I'm going to be taking Winds of Death Overcasting, because that is just a ridiculously strong spell. And for the other, much less important vampire, we'll be working towards it with Vampire's Dance Macabre. And we have students for every single one of our vampire heroes at this point, which is pretty solid. Coming down here, last video I forgot to actually repair this place and build the gibbet. And I'm not interested in growth buildings, again, because I can foster terror to grow relatively quickly, and I don't feel safe upgrading this just yet, nor do I have the money to do it safely. Speaking of, in Drakenhof, I want to start this building now, because even though I don't technically need to start this now, let me open it back up, to get to Varghulfs on time when I get to tier 4, I can start recruiting an army of Varghgeist. I can do something more effective than just the trash I have. It's worth opening the option. I'm gonna spend most of my money getting tier 2 growth buildings in all of these settlements. And we're gonna hold until we can go to tier 4 here to get the Varghulf army sooner rather than later, then go to tier 3 on these, then tier 5 here. Probably worth repairing Carrick Kadren and then building the gibbet here as well. And of course, like I said earlier, they'll be fostering terror because who isn't? Which brings us down to this attack with Isabella, which is looking like a pretty massive fight since it is against a fort, meaning it'll have a very large garrison. Pyrrhic victory for only 3 skeletons isn't too bad, but let's see if we can't do better. First, there's an absolute shitload of people with spears inside that settlement. We will probably get better results without mounts, because there's no way to cheese this. We're not gonna be able to capture all the points with like 4,000 guys inside of a small enclosed space. And since I have so many vampires in the other army, I think this army needs the gear more, especially with the fight we're coming up against. Something I'm gonna do now that I should have maybe considered doing earlier is fusing the stuff together, because like the slots it's in are terrible. Unfortunately, we have a Staff of Damnation here, so we'll just fuse both Staff of Damnations together, because we're hoping to get something that's not trash. The Sword of Bloodshed, it's rare. Melee attack and weapon trait, that's fine. I think I'm looking more for defensive value than that stuff, but technically it's fine. Why? Oh, they're different rarities, that's why I can't fuse them together. On this one, we get the Rod of Flaming Death, which is another not so great item, I think. Yeah, Bound Spell Fireball, who cares? Can I fuse different types together? No, I can't. Nor can I fuse different rarities. So we didn't get too much good there. We got the Sword of Bloodshed, and I believe Isabella is currently unarmed. No, I've given her the Fencer's Blades already, but we'll give the Sword of Bloodshed over here. Give the unused Talisman of Endurance here as well. The Helm of Discord is 100% going on Isabella. We want that for this fight for sure. She doesn't have a Talisman yet. We're going to take Endurance from one of the other vampires. Arcane items just suck. I just fused all the ones I had. We're going to take another Talisman of Endurance here from whoever has it currently. No armor to give Vlad. No enchanted item to give Vlad. And we have nothing to give this vampire either, so we can't get great equipment yet. We have a lot of people in need of it, unfortunately, and nowhere near enough to go around. Does not look like it affected the auto-resolve at all. Was it 4 skeletons or 3 last time? It might have made it worse. I'm gonna put the Banner of Swiftness on the Varghulfs so it can fly in and take less shots if I want to use it at the end of the fight. Because I'm not convinced these 3 can solo the entire fort. There's just kind of a lot in there. I'm going to put the leadership on this vampire. I'm going to put the armor piercing on Vlad because he'll be in there the longest, if anyone. Because they're all going to get region capped, and I'm going to have to pull everyone in, I think. I don't think it's going to be a loss. I don't think it's going to be hard, but I do think they're probably not able to just, like, right-click in and AFK. I don't think it's going to be that easy. But I'm going to take a break, do some errands. This is a grind. This is going to be, like, 10 to 20 minutes of my life at triple speed to grind through all this. For you, it'll be like 5 minutes, but I want to take a break before I get into this, so I'll be back with you in just a moment. All right, I hear that we have a lot of halberdiers, spearmen, archers, and crossbowmen to bring down. Pyrrhic victory is unacceptable. Let's go do much better. All right, putting pretty much our entire army way in the back. We might bring the Varghulfs in towards the end of this, or the skeletons, but I'm hoping to do this with just the 3 main heroes. God knows we're getting most of the work done with them, but it might not be all of the work. We're just gonna take a basic zigzag to get up close. It's shocking how effective this is at dodging abilities. Or not abilities, projectiles. Because we really should be taking an absolute shitload of damage on the approach. They have so many archers, but instead, we just won't. Now, because they're gonna be building the towers on the high ground, ideally I would like to be over here, or over here on the other side, so that I have the elevation change blocking the towers from hitting me, because the towers can't get friendly fire. They'll either hit me or miss, and it will cost me a lot of health over the course of the fight if I were to fight next to them, or in vision of them. So I'm going to be trying to get that to happen. We want to get in melee as fast as possible here, by the way. And the reason for that's pretty straightforward. If we're in melee, they stop shooting us. We probably want to save our Hex to the Lord who's coming up. Helm of Discord immediately seems reasonable. And the Lord should be in range, I think, of this. I thought he would be. Took a hot second. But we're close enough to in range. And the Lord's really the only threat here, and even then, between Hex and all of our abilities and just being much higher level than him, he's not really much of a threat. He's only just got into the game world. And boy howdy, is he gonna get a rough exit from it too. I think I have 3 or 4 overcast Winds of Death total with my Winds of Magic here. I'm just wondering if I should be using it here, and I think I can basically full wipe this stack. I don't think I'm ever gonna get more than like 5 units on me. So I'm gonna put it here just to bounce it off the wall straight back through. And all of this is dead, by the way. It's gonna be fucking gross. Oh, I thought it would do a lot more on the bounce there. I wonder if it can only hit something twice. I should have taken a harsher angle to get this other unit as well. Still very good damage. Looking at Vlad, he's at 4,000 damage. Looking at Isabella, she's at 22,000. Could have done better, but still very solid. And I'm going to be using the Goblet constantly on Vlad to keep him at full fatigue, because he's going to last the longest out of these 3. So it's important to keep him at full fatigue, because everyone else will have to run away sooner than him. Still haven't quite killed this guy. I'll definitely be down with the next Spirit Leech, but that's like 40 seconds away. Is this enough to justify Winds of Death? I mean, probably, right? So last time I thought I did it at slightly too much of an angle. That should wipe out all the units we're currently fighting. Yeah, just absolutely fucking disgusting damage. And we can drop this on him. Oh, it might have been completely unnecessary. He's very dead. And all of this is routing, so we want to run with it. Because what's going to happen is as it escapes, they're all going to start shooting at us. And we want to make sure that either they don't shoot at us because we're inside of them, or at the very least they're getting a lot of friendly fire and missing most of their shots. And then once we're in melee, we'll be fine to... Oh, we're not... This is the problem, right? Because we're going towards the nearest units to avoid getting shot by the archers. We're not going towards the safe place from the towers. Unfortunate, but it's fine. Not a huge deal, honestly. The towers won't be doing much to the massive amount of armor and save that these guys have. I appear to have accidentally taken off Vlad's ring. Fairly major mistake. Note to self, please, for the love of God, put the fucking ring back on when you finish the fight. All right, looks like the knights are finally getting involved, so we're gonna be stuck in for a hot second fighting them. We'll use our last Spirit Leech on the Knights, and this will probably be where we use our last Overcast Winds of Death, because there's a lot beneath us, but we're going to wait for these archers to run through. Because what we're going to try to do is drop it like this and catch the archers as they go past, with the tail end of it. Like that. Dear Lord. Winds of Death's just kind of a good spell, and we're out of magic now, unfortunately. But Vlad's at 50 kills and 7,000 damage. Isabella's at 375 and 66,000. There might be a gross disparity in who's doing what because of how strong Winds of Death is. I'm wondering if I should bring in the Varghulfs now to start trying to pick off archers, or if I should wait until the skeletons are coming in to do that. I'm wondering if the skeletons even need to come in with how much work Isabella has done. Also, letting the archers shoot, knowing they'll miss most of their shots, isn't even bad, because it will push them closer to army losses, right? Everyone got knocked over in the charge, which is very funny, because we're definitely the worst threatening units in an actual fight. I'm forgetting to heal Vlad constantly, unfortunately. Vlad is only at diminished, though, in stamina. He's still okay-ish. None of us are even seeing our regen caps just yet. I think if I had the mana for one more Winds of Death and I just threw it down here, that would be the end of the fight immediately. But because I'm a little bit short on magic, we're not quite able to end it just yet. Still, I think we're more than fine. We can summon zombies. May as well, right? If I summon the zombies here, all the archers will shoot at it, which will waste some ammo and give us balance of power. Did I not summon them? I guess not. Try again. Yeah, there we go. They can charge into the back, and that'll deal a little bit of damage, but mostly it's just here to take up firing. All the arrows going into this are power they're losing, effectively. Unless it counts Winds of Magic as power for you, in which case I have probably just traded evenly. But yeah, those zombies went down like absolute chumps, as you might expect them to. We're looking at 136 on Melissa, 87 on Vlad, surprisingly low, and 400 on Isabella, which is about what I expected to see. I'm really just hoping I can get this done without having to bring in the skeletons. I don't think that's going to be possible, though. Melissa's down to her actual health, and I'm wondering if I should keep her in or start retreating with her. I'm going to retreat with her. It seems sensible. Heal Vlad, activate this, use your debuffs. Buff Vlad, activate this. And Melissa's going to zigzag her way out of here. I don't want her taking too much damage. She'll probably get down to an easily replenished amount of health on the way out, and she'll also waste some arrows as well. Make sure those two are still actually shooting, and that brief moment of not zigzagging shows you just how effective it is. Holy shit. Oh, I see what's happening. She's not zigzagging because she's like, that's the same route to get out of the town. Oh, that's a good lesson to learn. Rotate my camera towards the gate if I'm ever zigzagging out of town. Holy shit, that was bad. Don't mind me, it's just the Von Karstein power couple conquering the fort basically on their own. Someday they'll cap this point when people stop charging back into it. Not that we're trying to win by point capping, because I can't really see myself capping all 4 points with this many people in so small and enclosed space. It's very frustrating because everything that's left routes the moment it fights Vlad or Isabella. But because everything's routing instantly, I keep having to dodge the fucking arrows. See, just like that. Also, Isabella is at regen cap, but there's... Why'd she get knocked over? What? They have artillery? Oh, they must have an upgraded tower somewhere. I see. That's very frustrating. I'm not quite sure I understand the idea of routing out of the city, but it looks like that's what the AI is up to, and I can live with that. I think everything's basically dead, and we can just cap the points at this point. The game just doesn't want to let me leave. Like, we're so close to army losses, but no one's actually around to fight me. All right, there we go. Just got the army losses after running off another group of archers. A lot of damage on Isabella, but that's honestly fine. We can heal that very quickly outside the battle. It was not close. Balance of Power accurately understands how valuable my heroes are, but it still wasn't close. We literally didn't use our army to avoid taking wounds on them. All right, technically close victory. 1,200 for conquering it. I'm gonna loot and occupy for 49% replenishment. That number seems wrong. Goodbye, Golden Order. We got a fireball ring, which I think means we can actually fix it now. And that's the exact cost period that we got from looting and occupying, but the regen seems pretty relevant, because we're just at full health now. On Isabella, I'm not sure if we should be taking Earthing or Magical Reserves. They're both very good. And oh, I guess I'm getting both. That sorts that out.
Descendant of Bathory.
On her Vampire, I want to pick up Arcane Conduit to cast more spells faster, I think. Getting Grave Ward for the missile resistance might be more important. And on Vlad, it's definitely monstrous strength for the weapon damage, weapon strength, and whatever sundering attacks are. Then we have a pile of lower level people who just recruited. You basically know the deal with these, so I'm not going to bother going over them in any great detail. I do intend to actually use Fort Soul as a fort. I think I want this place to be more durable because I don't ever want to go south based on my victory conditions, so I will foster terror so it can grow faster. And I'm not sure what we're working for here, because like Puppet Master for hero action cost implies I believe my hero actions are good, and I don't. Delusions of Grandeur for the upkeep and recruit rank on Mortis Engine feels minor. The income from Vampire Crypts and keeps, as well as the same thing here, seems massive, 100%, but those buildings don't actually make any money. Hero recruit rank for vampires, they're all recruited already. Nothing else in here actually feels particularly relevant to what I'm doing. Diplomatic relations plus 10 with all houses, or all factions rather, sounds pretty good. I think I'm gonna take Baleful Rituals into Allegiance Points, I don't know what that is, into Diplomatic Relations, and then maybe start working towards Fueled by Fear for the Terrorgheist stuff, not really sure. There's a setting here on notifications that says hide red notifications. And if I click mark all as red, yeah, these aren't notifications. I don't know what that's from. I don't even know if it's from a mod or not, but it doesn't appear to be particularly helpful. Just gonna close events. Ending the turn while floating 5,000 cash feels pretty weird and maybe suboptimal. But I guess the question's like, what am I doing with it then, right? I can obviously come here, build the growth building, upgrade this to tier 3. Do I need a second tier 4 building? I can recruit my Terrorgeist army twice as fast if I did. Okay, we'll build this. That seems not unreasonable. I don't think there's any wars to declare for money, anyone to shake down around me. Let me just go through quick deals real quick. But I believe the turn's finally over. Oh, these guys will peace out for money. Both of them will. Yeah, absolutely. How much is that worth for you? 1,100? Good job past me joining that war. Speaking of, Lottie and Sisterhood would also like to peace out for money. You're a vampire, and people get upset when I make deals with vampires, so I'll just take the peace treaty and nothing else. Cool, so that's just a free $2,000, basically. And one more thing before I end this turn that I almost forgot about. I'm gonna start force marching back, because to get to these dwarves, I need to start moving now. I'll have to trespass a little bit on my ally. And I don't think they're ever selling military access, so they'll have to suck it the fuck up. Anyways, that'll be the end of the turn, so let's see what happens after we hit this button. The migration, I can either do nothing or gain growth 15 all provinces, control -3, recruit cost -10. It seems like that's really good. I'll take the negative control. 2 people I just downed and went to peace with respectively died immediately. Good investment there. If I recruit a lord, I get 1,000, so as soon as I find a reason to do that, I'll do it. Hey, I can't help but notice you killed Wisenberg. Are you still mad about me doing that? Yeah, you are.
I make no promises that I won't draw my sword.
Okay. I think you're a very conflicted man. We're going to force march on Vlad and Isabella towards these dwarves. We'll eat the attrition, it'll be fine. Over here, we're gonna continue the, oh, gross. Jumping the river just takes all your movement away. It is what it is, let's go. I'm not even sure this is going to work well for us. Can they underlay stance to the next city? I'd be so mad. There's a very real chance that's a thing. And this guy looks like he's just 1 tile short. Are you serious? Oh, man. I want to see next turn. I'm going to check and see what it costs to cross the river. Like, what is the actual movement penalty? Because it's so massive. It's just as bad as embarking and disembarking. All right, Workbad has finished its job. I really just don't think this person's very threatening. They're enemies with only 1 faction that I've actually met. It looks like Glock is willing to pay me a whole $370 to join his war, which isn't like a good rate, but I'm declaring the war anyway. May as well cash in while I can. And then we're gonna take our pitiful army here and come take Flensburg, which is an undefended ruin, not a city. We'll occupy it. Province secured. That'll let us do the growth commandment here. We can start the building of, you know, an actual settlement as opposed to the garbage we've seen. Upgrade the city. I don't have the money for that. What I do have the money for is skeletons. We'll need all of them. Which brings us to our last army, and Azag the Slaughter is coming down to meet them. How's our regeneration going? Could be a whole hell of a lot better, to be honest. Man, imagine if I had just cheesed that fight instead of taking massive casualties on this entire army, huh? We're gonna go into channeling stance. We're gonna get pretty close to the settlement. I believe Azag's just going to attack this no matter what I do. He can't get past it because of zone of control. So stay just out of range and safe, pick up some more skeletons, wait for the other army to catch up. He'll take this, he'll get trapped in the city, and then I'll take him out with the combined armies and whatever's in the raised dead pool, which should probably increase a little bit once he, you know, loses men and kills the skeletons. Wait, actually, undead probably don't add to the raised dead pool. They're probably a one-time thing, huh? Yeah, these armies are pretty damn expensive. This is 4,000 a turn right here. It's getting attrition into the ground anyways. I'm gonna say that except for the elite stuff here, the rest of this is basically useless. And this is a bad investment. And I'd much rather massively reduce my upkeep, get another 2,000 gold a turn by doing that. You're still keeping the good units that I actually want in a future army, but all the chaff can just be recruited somewhere else in the future. Am I in a similar boat with Isabella? Well, we're about to get a big fight here, so no. That turn was so fast that I feel like I must have done something wrong, but I don't believe I have. Which means we're at the end of the turn already. We're not conquering anything this turn. Unsurprisingly, Azag the Slaughter has taken out Nashrak's lair. Not gonna bother fighting this one myself. I'll be surprised if they even get 100 kills. They lost 51 men. That's about right. Oh, he didn't actually knock it down. He just looted it. Oh shit, the genius. Oh, he didn't reach me anyway. Maybe not the genius then. It didn't occur to me that he could destroy its area of influence by sacking it and then just walking past it, but he couldn't get far enough to do what I was afraid he would do anyway. So we get our regeneration in the next fight and we're completely fine. In the raised dead pool, we have, you know, trash, but trash is still something. I should have recruited 2 skeletons last turn and just messed up and didn't. So silly me there, but oh well. All right, we have 60 winds of magic here, but I'm not about to start the attack with this one. So we're gonna come forward, start the attack here. What does auto-resolve think? Valiant defeats. Oh, and I get the settlement garrison too. Cool. We're gonna fight this manually. All right, so the plan is we're gonna wait for all of our reinforcements to arrive, assuming that the enemy being on the defensive is just going to AFK and let me do this. And all of these wounded units right here, I don't want to lose them. So I'm just gonna withdraw them because I really don't need them. They're just time, and especially the Varghulf matters a lot. And before this fight starts, I'm just gonna fly around on these vampires and see if they actually do anything about this. Because if I can waste their ammo completely before the fight starts, that's massively to my benefit. I don't think I can. It looks like I'm getting spirit leashed a little bit, but that's, ow, fuck. It's probably still fine, to be honest. I have healing spells. I have incredibly efficient healing spells, in fact. I will probably use at least one up before the fight properly starts. Yeah, the archers are not interested in shooting at a small... Oh, wait, yes they are. Not super interested in doing it, but they will do it a little bit. That's another way with spells cast onto these folks. What I'm gonna do is come out over here and do a quick read up on how this spell works when you overcast it. It affects maximum 4 allies, but wouldn't you know it, that's approximately the number that we're casting it on. We have 40 Winds of Magic total, which means we can cast 3 copies of Winds of Death with all of it. The garrison's finally arrived, and this is gonna be my actual front line. They're completely worthless to me. Not your standard run-of-the-mill, they're zombies worthless, but genuinely absolutely worthless. Casting Invocation to Heck again would cost me a Winds of Death use, so I'm gonna not be doing that. And we're taking everyone forward. Oh, I forgot about the dogs. The dogs should probably be in a different control group with the bats, huh? I didn't even know there were bats. They weren't even grouped. Wait, does my shit have that kind of range? Where's Azag at? Test it on him. Mine doesn't have that kind of range. Feels a little bit cheaty, but that's fine. Compared to the value I'm getting out of my magic, it's absolutely nothing, so not to beat up about it. And as you can see, there's a pretty big speed disparity between zombies and skeletons. All right, zombies, get moving. And as they start their charge, I'll figure out what I'm doing with everyone else. I don't want to have a situation on my hands where all of my skeletons are just massively ahead of everything else. Now the skeletons get moving. And now the actually good skeletons further in the back can get moving. And that zombie that I just fucking forgot about. And groups 2 and 1, the actual valuable units in this army, can also start to participate. Come here, come there. We're gonna start with the Orc boys on all of our vampires. It feels like the place to be. I'm looking for Azog to run forward and actually participate here, but I don't know that he will. So what I'm gonna do instead is just, there we go, there's Azog. I can still slam down a bunch of this and activate some of my abilities. I don't really need to save them very aggressively. I don't currently have a great reason to use Winds of Death. I do have a good reason to do this and have all of this focus firing Azog, because I think we can bring him down very quickly with groups 1 and 2 and just constant uptime on Soul Leech. Bit of a lot of Soul Leech happening in this fight. Alright, I think now is a perfectly reasonable time to cast the upgraded Winds of Death. Down the line like that. 1 and 2 continue to fight here. Make sure they know what they're doing. Massive damage and massive fucking damage. And they're really just buying time. If they happen to live, that's great. But all I really care about here is Azog. We're getting massive damage coming in from these archers, actually. We're going to drop more Soul Leeches than Azog. I'm sure someone has one. Jesus Christ, that fucking hurt. Does that ability actually work anymore? Drop this on Azog. We just can't afford to be taking this much damage from this shit. I'm going to need to overcast Invocation to Heck, I think. Yeah, otherwise she might legitimately fucking die. I am not able to retreat you. Are you crumbling? No, you're not crumbling. That's not happening. I gave an attack order and somehow they just missed on their horses consistently. Like all of them landed on the wrong fucking side. What are you talking about? You are done. Just get the fuck out. Welcome to Control Group 7. Azog should be dead very soon. Now they had to use one Overcast Invocation to Heck. There's no reason not to use the second one now. Groups 1 and 2 can go here. Azog's down. Just drop Soul Leeches on everything to deal as much damage as possible, as quickly as possible. These guys are completely surrounded by enemy cavalry, but it's fine. Who cares? Orc Error Boys not lasting long. Oh, that's why the fight's so hard in terms of regen rates. Yeah, we came in at half. That'll do it. The trolls over here probably need to go down before they finish killing everything. I have a Raised Dead spell. Dropping it here seems relevant. It seems better than an Invocation to Heck due to regen rates. Alright, let's get over here to the Goblin Wolf Rider Archers and then cut into this other fight on the left side. The one on the right's obviously... Actually, it might not obviously be a loss at all. I thought it would be. Is this just like a couple of... Oh, it's Nasty Sculpts. Well, regardless, they can have this. And we can figure out who gets to have all of our various spells. I don't like you being in the back. I don't like you being alive, trolls. I think the fight's going really well. Oh, hey, they got more trolls. I think I've got all of this stuff on cooldown right now. That's fine. We're faster than trolls. We don't actually have to fight them. We don't want to. No one here is in danger of crumbling right now. We have a Raised Dead that we can drop on these guys. Continue working on the trolls. They're wavering. They're going to break soon. Just like my Raised Dead spell did. Okay, cool. Pull back here. I don't like being the sole target of all this. And it looks like all of our guys have gone down. Coming up on our next wave of Soul Leeches. Goblin Archers can go down relatively quick. Soul Leech on the Wolf Riders because they're being a constant hassle. Soul Leech on the other Wolf Riders for the same exact reason. Soul Leech on the Trolls because they're fucking scary. Keep moving on these guys. I do not want to stand still under any circumstances. Wolf Riders are on top of us, so we can actually get this fight to start. That would be great. That's fine. There's plenty of Orc Arrow Boys around to fight instead. I think we probably have at least one soul each left. No, we've used literally all of them. That's fine. I think we've done enough work here to win with the rest of this. Run this in as a distraction. It's just garrison units anyway. Goblin Wolf Riders will go down fast. It's just a question of whether or not I can win this with the remaining vampires, and I'm very confident the answer is yes, to the point that I'm willing to triple speed it. Yeah, please come blob and fight me. Don't use your arrows. Whatever you do, don't use the arrows and run in circles around me. Come blob and fight me. Thank you. Activate Magic Sword again. It's not great, but it's something. At this point, this one should come back, and everyone should be in one group. Because all of these other people are just as much in danger as the one that ran away. But I think we're decisively winning this. Although this one might need to book it. Oh, it's the one I'm bringing back. It's still the most injured one by far. Yeah, we win this. It's close, but we win this. I'm not sure what all, like, the smoke screen effects are. I'm sure it's something to do with the nasty skulkers, but I don't know their abilities at all. And it scares the shit out of me because I keep thinking they're doing magic. Oh man, them blobbing and fighting the vampires in the last stand was not a good choice. They have a lot more nasty skulkers say, oh, it's because they keep routing and then coming back. It's not new units every time, I say. Oh, I do have Spirit Leeches left because the one I brought back has Spirit Leeches. Nice. Just the Posner vampire gang doing silly shit like always with this campaign. It's a close fucking fight. Like, this is almost a loss, but it's not. And we're gonna go ahead and run down as much as we can here because I'm pretty sure this army does get to retreat. Close victory, but a victory all the same. Hundreds of kills on all of the vampires except for that one that was being focus fired by Azag during the entry to the fight. And then the rest of this, like, if you look at their army, these looks like the numbers on the side that would be winning. But it's because our army fielded 2,400 men, and only 6 of them actually mattered. So it really messes up what the kill counts look like. Additionally, I did retreat a bunch of my units at the start of this so that they'd be around after the fight, knowing that, like, they wouldn't contribute meaningfully in the fight, but they would die, especially the Varghulf. We're gonna be taking 1,000 dark magic, please. Get fucked, Azag. And I think we're immediately taking another fight with them.
My will alone.
Yeah, we're able to do it. This guy comes forward. We launch the attack again. I think he'll withdraw this time if he's able to. Nope, because he's lost, he can't. And I'm gonna fight this myself to maximize the amount of healing we get out of it, because without Azag, with massively damaged units, this is just a stomp. Alright, as you can see, we are all grouped up. I've used most of my Winds of Magic on healing this unit, or these units rather. And now we're gonna run in at triple speed, zig and zag for the arrows, dive in on the melee. And as soon as the fight gets started properly, and if they know who to target, Winds of Death. Yeah, that's the fight, basically. Thanks for the hit points, boys. Hey, we picked up a sword. Or, I guess it's a sword. It's hard to tell. Doesn't do a lot of damage for a sword, but we're gonna take the dark magic.
This better be important.
Pick up a few followers. Switch back into channeling stance, because I want to recruit some more skeletons on my way into Wurzag's land, or Azag's land, rather. Looks like he's trying to get a new army. Clearly, he's going to need it. Grab 2 more skeletons. Enter channeling here as well. Oh, you're gonna fall behind if you do? Well, in that case, force march up. And I'm feeling pretty good about my war with Azag after that turn.
My bloodline calls.
Alright, so this guy can obviously get pretty far towards his objective. Are you guys at war?
You dare approach a lord.
You have a trade partner with Van Angren who's just jumped into your land with an army.
You dare.
They don't like me, but I'm sure dwarves hate other people like their neighboring orcs more than me, so I don't think that's related. Suddenly looking for blue dwarves over here, doesn't seem to be happening.
This better be important.
If I go into channeling, I can make it to here and not kill myself. Although it does appear that while channeling, I'm just dying, that it's not actually preventing attrition at all.
What do you want?
What about raiding? I don't regenerate in raiding, I'm just not taking attrition.
Deliver it unto me.
I guess first things first, this army. How much movement does crossing the river cost? 45%, 75 out of 165. The number is what matters, not the percentage. It's not a 55% tax, or at least I don't think it is, unless this guy also experiences that. Yes, that's what I thought. It's not a 55% tax. What it is it's a tax of just crossing the river, one tile is a 90 movement. That's nuts. Why? Like, if that's the case, put down some fucking bridges. Why can't you cross it here? Yeah, I have to force march forward here, unfortunately. I have to accept that I'm taking the attrition. Maybe have to's a bit strong, but it feels like that's true. Come forward in channeling stance in front of them, and then recruit as much as I can from the raised deadpool to protect them from a possible counteroffensive from the dwarves here. I don't think I really need to be afraid, but I'm a little bit afraid. Now, over here, I think they had no enemies. They do have enemies. The Scabby Eye. What a terrible name.
This is bad news. I'll poke out your eyes.
Oh, they're at war with, like, all the dwarves. Anyway, I'll join your war against this specific dwarf for $1,600. Great deal. I'm a diplomatic genius. Now, the real question is, do I have to fight this fight? And the answer is probably. Close defeat, you say, but it's also a major settlement, so we've seen this one before. Which reminds me, continue the siege. Vlad, I'm sorry, I messed up. Please put your ring back on. Over here, I think we're just moving towards Skimperbad and grabbing more skeletons.
Then go.
I don't see an army from this faction anywhere. Picking up Grave Ward on all of my vampires, because it seems like a good thing to do in general. And repairing the stuff damaged by Azag just now. And I've run out of things to do. I can't put it off any longer. It's time to attack this settlement. It's fairly important that I remember to put these two on their Barded Nightmares for this.
No mercy.
And Vlad will do his best to keep up, but he probably won't. Let's get into it. Oh, great. It's the same dwarf city it always is. I swear to God, if there's any meaningful difference between all of these dwarf cities, I don't notice it. It looks the same every time. There's just the one dwarf city of Karak X, whatever it is. The variable doesn't matter. We've got all of our unimportant units hanging out on the back of the map. Where the people who actually do matter come over to the complete opposite side. And the plan is just to run in, around, and up. Is there a faster path if you go the other way? It feels like I actually want to come in through this gate here. Which means I need to set up on the opposite side with all this jazz. Alright, cool. So I have this entire side basically covered in skeletons at max range. Probably want to actually move that one back so it doesn't die for no reason. And we're going to go into the gate over here. Do the same strat we always do.
Swiftly.
Always shocked at just how effective zigzagging is here. Now, they by and large didn't put too many forces on that side. They seem to somehow correctly assess the situation here. But it shouldn't really be too big of a deal, I think. They're all dwarves. They're not on horses. We should be okay. Gates open.
Quickly.
Vlad, just go get into a random fight. We know you're not making it through.
Quickly.
Yeah, we actually want to go the way that we just turned away from, which is not great.
Endless night. Quickly.
I'd come down here and fight them, I guess.
Swiftly.
We should be able to punch through this with relative ease.
Swiftly.
So I thought. Silly me.
Swiftly.
Oh, hey, Vlad, there are, like, catapults over here. Fuck that. Come deal with that.
Quickly.
In situations like this, it calls for the winds of death. Gonna need you to fuck off and let me through. Also, Vlad, chase them down. What are you doing? Guys, it's very important that you actually move and not just yell quickly and then stand still. Like, it's a funny meme, but you actually do need to move quickly. Vlad, please come save your wife. She's very incompetent right now. She's almost loose. There we go. I'm very worried that history's about to repeat itself with this next group. We have Winds of Death, so hopefully we use that, like, fucking immediately. It'll work out. I'm also gonna get on the left side here and try to push through on the corner. Thank you for moving, sir. Push through on the right corner. Huzzah. I'm starting to learn how to maneuver around the AI in the city a little bit better. Get up there. Vlad, where are you? That's not Vlad. 1 second. Vlad, where are you? That's fine, honestly. Although you should be coming up here. Let's be real with ourselves. So give Vlad the occasional walk command and trust that he'll get here eventually. Oh, all my units are actually slowly taking damage on the outside of the map. Especially you. Retreat so that you don't die. I like you being alive. You're one of the better units on the map. The rest can keep taking damage. It's important to distract, maybe. I think. It sounds right. Cool, Vlad, where are you? Oh, you're fine. You're making your way downtown. Wonderful. And for the last couple minutes of this, we will actually fight. May as well get some extra experience on our lords and heroes. Not like we're at any real risk of taking major damage. It's just, why would I fight the siege properly when I can play King of the Hill instead? I've got the option. I'm taking it. I guess I can withdraw everyone else now to minimize the wounds they take. Not that they're going to take any wounds in the first place. We're actually like really aggressively beating the dwarves in the fight. I wonder what this would look like in a field battle. Because I think we might win this just as easily as the Azag fight, despite only having the 3 heroes here total. We have plenty of magic here to just throw one of these out carelessly. God, that balance was beautiful. I'm so happy that worked. I wasn't confident in it at all. I didn't even bother commentating. Oh, hey, there are heroes here. May as well throw him a free spirit leech. And like all of my other abilities too. And that'll be the automatic victory. Not that we really seem to be struggling in the actual fighting them capacity. That was... Are you sure? How was that Pyrrhic? What are you talking about? What do you mean, Pyrrhic victory? Look, guys, an entire unit of bats died, and I wasn't aware they were here. They had 2 silver chevrons. I'm not sure how Sylvania can ever recover from this loss. Truly, the dwarves have dealt us a crippling blow this day. Loot and occupy, or even sack and then take it again, are really tempting. Because this place is just going to be a tier 1 settlement that I don't improve for a long time. Yeah, I'm going to take the sack for the money. Then occupy. We'll have to repair the shitty basic building, but it will ease. Oh, 1,000. That's more than I expected it to be. Then we'll demolish the other one. And we'll heal up inside the city. Over here, we're just not there yet, unfortunately. All right, we're going to be taking Purple Son of Zeus. I'm not convinced we'll ever need either of these spells, but I want to unlock Arcane Conduit for what I feel are fairly simple reasons. So I'm going to take Earthing, and then I'm going to take Purple Sun until we unlock Arcane Conduit. Isabella just got her Arcane Conduit, and he still has points left. That'll be going into missile resistance for sure. And with Vlad, we're going to go down Master Striker for the damage, and then I think Curse the Revenant for the massive buff to HP that represents. Oh, hey, Darthu, you better just be conquering Gristle Valley and not coming to me with this bullshit. What stance is that? Use World Roots. Traverse underground terrain that would normally be impassable. So this sounds like it's just an alternate form of the Underway, really. That instead of being about going under mountains, it's probably about going to forest. But cool. Nice to know you have your own stance. Was not aware of this. I don't think he hates me enough that he would go to war with me. And in the past, I've seen AI use full stacks to colonize places like happened at Flensburg. So I don't think this is anything to be alarmed about. I'm going that way to fight him anyway, so I guess, like, it really doesn't matter. I'm going there with full force immediately. What do I care if he's attacking? And Fort Sol can be upgraded immediately. The real question is, will I ever think this place is good? Like, tier 5, what do we have? I could invest so much money into this settlement, and its garrison would still be trash. Never mind, I don't want Foster Terror here, it's pointless. Nothing here does anything because this place doesn't generate money, does it? I'll take control of Vampiric Corruption, none of them matter, because that place is useless. I imagine the garrison would be good, and I don't know why I thought that for vampire counts. I'm a little bit confused because I'm in stance mustering, and if I were to check on a normal unit like this guy, mustering isn't a stance my faction has. So, obviously, when I got back from that battle, something broke a little bit, because we left channeling stance and entered a fake mustering stance my faction shouldn't even have access to. Because why would we need it? We don't have global recruitment. Oh, that's so weird. Small indie studio, please understand, guys. Same thing here, this person's in mustering. It's fine, it doesn't matter, just ignore it and move on. I think I'm gonna take the tier 3 growth building. I don't know that I care to recruit necromancers at all. Because unlike some people, necromancers have reasonable stats. I need to actually go to the unit browser to look at them. But yeah, the necromancers have 15 armor. They're not here to duel, they're spellcasters. And they're inferior spellcasters to what the vampires can offer, so no reason to concern myself unless I specifically want to do stuff involving buffing up undead armies. And as you've seen, I view undead armies as an emergency measure to support your heroes, and to stall until the late game where we get doomstacks that actually do shit, or at least use them to protect a Mortis engine that will actually matter. I think that's everything for this turn. Unless there's stuff I want to do in Templehof. Do I want Templehof going to tier 4? What's the advantage of having a tier 4 building, or a tier 4 settlement? If I pushed for tier 5 in a second settlement, I can recruit my Varghulfs or Terrorgheist stack twice as fast. The flip side to that is that I will have to spend huge amounts of money. We're talking 9,000, 14, we're talking like well over 25,000 dark magic just for the possibility of doing this. It doesn't seem worth it. It's the same thing with vampires. It's like 4,550 for that building. Then getting to tier 4 is another set. It's like 11,000 just to get the second vampire stack. I think with Templehof, I'm content to just get tier 3 and everything, upgrade the gibbets, get maximum income. And this is one of those things where I feel like I don't understand the game properly and something is wrong, so I'd love to hear other opinions people on it as we close out this video. I'm gonna go ahead and hit intern while I talk about this. It feels to me like it's absolutely mandatory that you get 1, maybe 2 or 3 settlements, depending on how many buildings you have that matter, up to tier 4 and tier 5 to build your best units. But the investment cost of getting a 2nd, 3rd, 4th building, it's just so much to recruit slightly faster. And like, maybe I'm bad at generating money and that's what's going wrong. But I feel like what I'm doing optimizes how much money I'm generating because I'm only growing 1 settlement and I'm prioritizing nothing but economy buildings everywhere else. And even making the 2nd building feels impossible. Just like this peace treaty. And I don't know that that's the intended play pattern, that you have like a capital province and everything else can just get bent, you don't bother with it. Mission issued, Greenskin Blights. Do you want me to raise or sack? Oh, absolutely. Thank you for the free 2,400. That's incredible. Wait, no, I really need you not to kill that. I think he'll lose.
To stand before me and ask.
Wait, who are you at war with? That's not the Drippin' Fangs. What's happening? Oh, god damn it. Kislev just got here and took this. Apparently they took the opportunity to dogpile Azag with me. I don't need this land. This land being mine isn't even really beneficial. I can come through, knock them out, give the land to Kislev to make a permanent ally, and then just take out Draika instead. I don't actually care about having this land. Like, I'd have preferred to take all this and make money from it forever, but I'm not about to go to war with Kislev over it. I'd much rather just solidify my alliance with them instead.
Ready.
I'm not going to worry about moving these guys or doing any minor things. They're always slippery slopes into playing an entire extra turn. I'm going to call it here. Thank you for watching. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I hope you're enjoying watching it as well. Thank you to my one Patreon supporter, Jeffrey B, and I'll see all of you in the next one.